we are told that this is a table. And hey guys, what's up? My name is Katie, if you're new, and welcome back to my channel. If you're not new, in this video I'm going to be talking about limiting beliefs and how to kind of uncover your limiting beliefs as well as turn them into, uplifting beliefs and get the bad ones out of your life because we don't need those in our life. And so yeah, and I obviously want to start off by saying what a limiting belief is. So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure that you do, but a limiting belief is a belief that limits your full potential and limits you from being able to, fulfill your life's purpose and be the kind of person that you want to be and run off of a belief system that you love and that feels good to you, because beliefs should feel good. If you have a belief that does not feel good, that is considered a limiting belief, because beliefs should always feel good to us. And so one example I do want to give of a limiting belief, this was mine my whole life, and that I was told for many, many years before being able to come to the realization that this is not true, and I believe that it's not true, and that is that in order for me to start a business, in order for me to be successful and be able to, basically create any kind of business that I want, whatever it may be, it doesn't like limiting it to none, I just mean any kind of business, I have to work in a 9-to-5 and I have to climb the corporate ladder for 10 plus years. Then I will have the credibility, the knowledge, the success, the money to be able to start my own business. And that is what I was told for many years of my life, and that is what I consider one of my limiting beliefs. And one thing you have to realize is that a lot of limiting beliefs come from people who have either experienced something themselves or they have not. So in my case, who I was getting that, limiting belief from and that advice from about starting a business were from people who have never even started a business themselves, have never even learned about starting a business themselves. And so they were kind of putting on me their limiting belief towards starting a business because they have no idea how to start a business. So limiting beliefs can come from people who have not even had experience in some sort of area of life. In my case, like I said, these people have never started a business themselves, and so they were placing that on me and causing me to have this lack mindset towards starting a business. Whereas if I were to go to somebody who has started a business and who has done it through, right out of college, or didn't have a lot of money, or didn't climb the corporate ladder, they would have a completely different belief towards starting a business and making money than the other person who obviously has never done that. So you have to be very cautious of the people that we are, choosing to gather information from. And obviously a lot of this stems from when we're children. We can't really choose who has taught us things. And when we're babies, we have to learn from certain people. So a lot of our beliefs that we've had in our whole life and during our, anywhere we go, or in school or, in work, anything, we have been running off of these beliefs that we've been told from the moment that we were born by people who have never experienced certain things, or they have, this is my other point, they have, had a certain experience themselves in some sort of aspect of life, and that's why they are placing that onto us. So for example, some people have a limiting belief towards money that, a lot of parents will say, money doesn't grow on trees. And it might sound small, but that will affect a child, and that will literally make a child think that, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, so I therefore have to have a lack mindset towards money and towards making money, and money is going to be very hard to attain because there's not a lot of it, and it's very scarce in the world. And so that's just one example. And this can go towards love, towards relationships, towards many things in our life. Limiting beliefs are being placed on us at all hours of the day. Literally, we run off as a society, as a world, as a planet, as a collective of, human beings. We form beliefs based on experiences and based on what we've been told throughout our whole life. And so because we learn these things, we want to place them onto other people. And obviously, when we're young, like I said, we have to learn from somebody. And so our parents are just doing their best and they're trying to teach us what they know and what they believe to be true. But a lot of the times this isn't true, and we need to form beliefs based on, what's going to make us feel good. And so my first point about limiting beliefs and being able to uncover kind of what yours are is identify beliefs or kind of things you've been told your whole life that don't make you feel good. Think of the things that don't make you feel good, because a belief should always make you feel good. It should never make you feel bad. You should never have this sense of stress, anxiety, fear, or worry towards something. And so, you know, for me, it was always money. I always had this stress towards money, and I have no idea why, because it's not like I had, you know, struggle with money or like anything like that growing up. It was just that, you know, society or certain people, just like I said, with the whole money doesn't grow on trees, or being able to, you know, attain success, it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of time and stress and, you know, just time, I guess, and effort. And so I had this fear towards money and towards being able to follow my passions and my dreams, because I was told from a young age that if I want to start a business and I want to be successful, I have to put in the hard work for many, many years of my life and work for many, many years in order to start a business. And so that was a limiting belief placed on me by other people, which then caused me to go about my life and fear, literally fear money and fear success, because as much as I wanted it and as much as I wanted to, you know, start a business and be successful, I was told that in order to get there, I had to do these steps, and I didn't want to do those steps. I didn't want to be in a 9-to-5. I didn't want to climb the corporate ladder. Like, these are things I didn't want to do, but I was told I had to do that. And so I finally came to the realization over the past couple of years, especially the past year, you know, I really had to dig deep and ask myself, is this true? You know, it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel so shitty. And I just realized, like, a belief should always make you feel good and make you feel like, you know, it's something that, you know, is going to make your life purpose come closer to you, and you're going to always feel good in your daily life. You're going to feel positive, motivated, successful, and confident. And, you know, so that's the first step, is to identify your limiting beliefs. Ask yourself what makes you feel bad and what does not feel good to you. So, like I said, money is an example. And once you identify these things, obviously a lot of us have multiple limiting beliefs, not just, you know, one or two, but once you can identify a good bit of the main ones in your life, or the ones that I guess are impacting your day-to-day most commonly, write them down. And once you write them down, think of ways to change that belief into a uplifting belief, or the opposite. So like I said, for me, it was, in order for me to start a business, I have to climb up the corporate ladder and, you know, put in the many, many years of work to get there. Instead of that, I would change that to, I am able to follow my passion and make enormous amounts of money while I do it. I can be successful at the age that I am currently. You know, I have all the power within me to start a business right now. I am on my path to success. You kind of just want to flip it, and you want to kind of just like make it the opposite of what your limiting belief was. And then once you have that written down and you have your uplifting beliefs, obviously it's going to take some time. Sometimes it's kind of hard for you to identify things, but over the course of like a week or even a couple weeks, just come to, I guess, like, start to think in your mind, like, the things that pop in your mind that don't make you feel good, and that will give you a sense of what your limiting beliefs are and what they are towards, whether that be, you know, money, relationships, anything like that. Keep track of them, and then, like I said, write them down, change them into an uplifting belief, and then once you have that uplifting belief, affirm it to yourself every single day, multiple times a day. What I like to do, and this has helped me a lot, is, you know, in the morning I will actually, I have them taped on my mirror, my affirmations, and I will read my affirmations out loud in the mirror the second that I wake up, because obviously I go to the bathroom to brush my teeth, and I will just affirm them to myself. And then every single time that I go to the bathroom throughout the day, they're on my mirror and I can see them and I can say them to myself over and over. And that really helps me, and it helps you kind of, you know, train your subconscious to change the limiting belief into a more positive one. And it does take time, like it does, but over time your subconscious brain will start to react to these new beliefs and start to believe them, as opposed to, you know, your old limiting beliefs. And another point I want to say is, have awareness for yourself, have awareness for others, and be, you know, self-aware enough to know that anytime you're speaking to somebody and anytime someone is trying to place one of their limiting beliefs onto you, or just kind of expressing it in their day-to-day, like something as simple as money doesn't grow on trees, or oh, it's so hard to find a job. You know, a lot of us, I did this in high school, or not in high school, in college. Anytime that kids, when we were applying for jobs and all that kind of stuff, one person says, oh, it's so hard, and then we all want to agree with them and be like, oh yeah, and that little like agreement of yes, like it is hard, you're telling your subconscious that it's hard to find jobs, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be pretty difficult, because you're just, you know, ingraining in your brain every single day that it's going to be hard to find jobs. So you have to be very wary of kind of how you are processing information from other people and the information that you're choosing to believe, and create beliefs that, like I said, make you feel good. And so if it doesn't make you feel good and you're kind of choosing to observe what someone else is saying, observe if it makes you feel good. And if it does, you can agree with it, you can believe that, and you can choose to make that your new belief. But if it doesn't, then you don't have to believe that. Like, we're told from a young age that we have to believe, you know, all these things we're told is like, for example, this is kind of a weird example, but I've been hearing this a lot. Like, we are told that this is a table, and we only agree that that's a table because we've all placed a symbol on that to say that that's a table, and we've all come to this like collective agreement that that's a table. When a belief, and I'm going to read off the definition actually of what a belief is in Wikipedia, just so you can kind of wrap your brain around it. So, definition of a belief in Wikipedia is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists, and trust, faith, or confidence in something or someone. So, listen to that. Like, it is an acceptance that something is true. An acceptance. And it's trust, faith that something is true. It's not saying that a belief is the truth. It is saying that it is an acceptance that is the truth. So, kind of, if you like listen to that a little more in your head, anyone can make up a belief. We can all create a belief that we want. So when you kind of understand this more and you kind of realize this, like, everything we've been told is based on of someone else's experience and someone else's, you know, belief that they've been running off of their whole life based on someone else who told them that was true, based on the person before them who told them that was true. So beliefs are all things, they're just made up constructs that we've chosen to agree are true. And so if that is the definition, like, you can choose to create your own belief systems. You can choose to believe whatever you want to believe, because it's just an acceptance that something is true. So that's why if something doesn't feel good to you, like, change the belief. Change the story. A belief is just a story. This is something you need to know. A belief is just a story. And so if it's just a story, what story do you want to tell yourself? What story do you want to like live off of? And what story do you want your life to be based off of? Obviously, I would hope you would want it to be based off of something beautiful and good and uplifting, and like, you know, if your goal is to be successful, but you've been running off your whole life that success is very hard to achieve and you have to be very lucky. That's another thing a lot of people say. You have to be very lucky to achieve success or very lucky to get rich. Then if you're telling yourself that story every day, like, it's gonna be hard and it's gonna be very difficult, because you're just gonna think that you gotta be lucky to get successful. But you can change the story, and the more that you change the story and you tell yourself, like, you know what, it's very easy to be successful. I was born successful. Success is literally in my blood. I can do anything to be successful and follow my passion to be successful, and the universe will give you more of what you're putting out. I always say this, like, what you put out is what you attract right back. So if you're affirming yourself every day and running off of a story that makes you feel fucking good, like, you're gonna get more goodness, you're gonna get more love, joy, success, happiness. So tell yourself a story that makes you feel so good. It makes you feel like you can do anything, because it's just a story. It's just a story. So again, like I said, you know, be conscious of what makes you feel bad inside, what doesn't serve you, what doesn't make you feel like, you know, happy in your day-to-day, whether that be with money, relationships, anything. Whatever doesn't make you feel good, you already know that that is a limiting belief, and that is something that isn't serving you, and that you can change into an uplifting belief, and then you can affirm those uplifting beliefs to yourself every single day from here on out, as well as having self-awareness that, you know, anything that comes into contact with your mind, any thought, any belief from someone placed on you, you can choose to observe it and not react to it, not believe it. That's another thing. A lot of us, especially with family members and friends and everything, we think that we have to believe everything they say, or we have to like analyze in our mind, like, oh my gosh, like, I guess this is true, but it's not. You have to become an observer and become, you know, aware of the things you're being told, and ask yourself if this is going to make you feel good or if it's not. And if it's not, get it out of your life and don't let it come in contact with, you know, your mind. And Another thing is also be aware of the things that you're telling other people, because not only do we have to be aware of, you know, what we're being told, we're also, you know, the same. It's like a give and take. So, you know, as much as we're taking in information, we're giving it as well. So we want to make sure that who we're educating, especially if we're teachers, if we're, you know, parents or anything like that, we want to be sharing, you know, advice and things that we truly believe can serve somebody else, as well as, you know, allow them to form an opinion on it, as instead of, you know, a lot of us are either controlling or want to really express our opinions and our emotions. But we have to, Amazon was here, we have to you know, just be very cautious of the things that we're telling people, and remember that everyone is a human being. We all have to come up with the beliefs that we think are going to serve our life. And so that is my last point. Be self-aware, have awareness for others as well. And another thing I do want to say is The Fifth Agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz is literally one of the best books I've ever read, and I am telling you, every single person on this earth needs to read this book. It is so good. I feel like we need to be required to read this in school, but it's really going to help you with this topic of limiting beliefs. And it's a very quick read. It's like tiny, and it took me a week to read it, so, and I'm a very slow reader, so he basically talks about in the book how everything we've been told is a lie, because everything we run off of is symbols, aka like the human language. So, you know, if we, like this cup or this mug, whatever, we're told this is a mug because someone said that that's true. But is it? I mean, is it a mug? Like, it can be anything. So that's just like a random example, but he just talks about how we need to be very weary of like what information we're taking in on a day-to-day and what we choose to put in our belief system, because everything should be questioned in life. Everything should be questioned, and you should be very skeptical of what you're being told, what you're telling other people, because, you know, this life is to be questioned. Like, we can choose our belief system for ourselves. And so he kind of just talks about that and breaks it down about how like everything we've been taught is, in a sense, a lie, and to just be very cautious in life, and not in a sense of like fear, not being terrified that everything's a lie, but just being cautious, like I said, like just knowing that you can form your own beliefs, and so everything should be questioned and should be taken like, will this serve me or will it not? Because if it's not going to, then I don't want to believe anything about it. So I highly recommend it. It's a very quick read, like I said. I really recommend it. Thank you for clicking on this video. Like this video and share it with somebody who needs to clear some limiting beliefs, because I think that we all do. But subscribe to my channel. Again, I'm so grateful that you clicked on this video, guys, and I'm thankful that you're here. And yeah, I'm probably going to talk about this topic more because it can go much more in depth with this. But thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.